Well, hello, Dragon family. Happy Friday. Been a couple weeks. I don't know why it just keeps slipping away. I guess I'm so engrossed in the book, the new one coming out. I actually mentioned it in the descriptor down below the normaldragonwithin.com reference. Watch for the spring release of the Ascension Protocol, Keys from the Dragons, coming out as soon as I can finish it, get it formatted, and get it to the publisher. Things going really, really smoothly with that. Really excited about it. I think I get so engrossed and excited and involved in the writing that I'm not about anything else at the moment. As some of you will have seen, if you've gone to try and book, whether it's a dragon reading or a 20-minute discovery call or a full session, I am on sabbatical, so I'm letting you know that here so that I can finish the book for the next couple of months, projecting end of March before I start anything back up again. But hi, Pam. Just felt this really inner calling, and everything is about flow. Everything is about listening what's right for you in the moment. And my heart was telling me, you need to stop. You need the distractions are pulling too much of the day away from where you want to be focused. And so I just did. I closed down the booking calendar for a couple months, and it feels really good to have that flow, that dedication. And I just love when things are aligning. And I had written this question down because Pina had actually asked it after our last discussions, which I think were 2 weeks ago now. And we were talking about grounding versus stabilizing. And so when she had sent the question in as a comment on the YouTube video, I was like, all right, today's the day. I'm going to go see what's on my list of questions. And it's about that. And I thought it was very interesting. Then I always dress, as you guys know, I go in my closet and I feel the energy, and I was drawn immediately to this shirt, and it's a new one for me. I don't have a lot in this color. And I was like, maybe I just want to wear my new shirt. What's that about? And it's this beautiful blue. It's called lead, but it's this beautiful ice blue color. And so when I sat with the topic, and as I got into my space here, hi, Linnell, I was feeling like, oh my goodness, I don't have any dragons in the screen with me because of all the Christmas stuff, but I left the lights up, and I thought, one of the dragons is pulling me. One of the dragons wants to be in, and I kept feeling, I'm like, it's Crystal Dragon. Where is that? And it makes so much sense of why I chose this color. And this is probably the closest color I have to the Crystal Dragon energy and to what we're discussing. It makes sense that the Crystal Dragon wants to come in because we're talking about that stabilizing aspect again versus grounding. So if you missed that, I'll just touch briefly on this aspect of grounding being techniques and things that have always historically pulled us into the root, pulled us into the core, connected us with Gaia, like through that earth and elemental range, and made us feel really solid, really grounded, right? And as things progress, and you'll learn a lot about this if you end up getting the Ascension Protocol when it comes out, is about moving into higher vibrational levels of everything. So how do we move grounding into a higher vibrational connection? And really what has come in as the word is stabilizing. We are stabilizing in a new field with her. And so it was great. Kitty just came and knocked the Crystal Dragon over. So that's very funny because that's my dragon kitty, Arthur. He's the first dragon kitty that I've had, and he just came and took out the Crystal Dragon. I think that's very funny. Anyway, Pina had come in and asked about this stabilizing. Like, can we discuss that a little bit more? She wants to know if isn't it still a kind of grounding because we're still connecting to Gaia just in a different way. And if you look at grounding as it's just your connection to Gaia, then indeed it is. What we are doing, and she says, is this also part of moving into 5D? And 100% it is. Everything about this of moving up into stabilizing is because we have a higher vibrational field. Gaia has a higher vibrational field. And so we don't want to be anchoring ourselves in that elemental 3D matter plane. We're trying to lift everything, including our physical cells, our physical body moving from carbon to silica, up into this higher connection. So when I described the new mechanism of, if you imagined Gaia's energy body moving into this crystalline network, just like yours is, And it's this extension that visually, I always get this image of like snowflake extensions, where it goes out and it's just expanded in. And as you touch into the earth, that you are that as well. And so it's like connecting crystalline network to crystalline network, and it lights it up. It's a much bigger conduit even than water as an elemental aspect. Definitely more conductive than the earth, the soil, how we have typically grounded through, like feeling like we're roots of trees, laying on the ground, putting our feet down. So if we're all moving into crystalline, what it's doing is changing that need for density to staying in a higher vibrational connection point, where the conductivity of what is light, it's love, it's information, it's energy, it's all of that telepathic field that we are sharing and emitting consistently, and that's all becomes communicable in the crystalline network, in that dynamic. So when we're stabilizing into a new field, that is part of our journey into 5D. We are stabilizing all of our bodies, physical, mental, emotional, and energetic. Those bodies are stabilizing into this new crystalline network. She's amping up, so she goes up in vibration, gets some crystalline aspects turned on. We in turn do so, or we do it and initiates her pull. It's like pulling each other up a ladder. And so the more we keep going with our own crystalline structure coming into play, what we find is this environment of what we used to get into meditations and be blissed out on. It's this field up here that our energy body would go out and meet and be like, oh, I feel amazing. Well, now we're taking all of our bodies up to that. And so when we have that interaction, we're not getting blissed out and like amped out on it, but it does still feel very expanded. I know in the last couple of weeks in particular, I've had a lot of my dragon hearts expressing how they're experiencing, like even just laying there, and all of a sudden there's these big waves of energy moving through. We're like, whoa, everything just shifted. The dimensional platform just shifted, and you're in it for a while. And then that wave moves through as we're getting aligned with and stabilized. Crystal Dragon wants to be down here next to me, I guess. I didn't hang him up, so sorry about that. I keep moving when I talk. I'm very active and dynamic when I'm talking, which is funny because I'm all Nordic. I don't have that Italian, like, talk with my hands blood. Anyway, we're moving up into that. And so as we come into that, we don't want to ground. We don't want to drop in what grounding for me is a really much slower vibration. So when we stabilize, it means that you're getting acclimated to a new environment. And so indeed, it's that new fifth dimensional vibration. It's that new higher crystalline environment. It is part of connecting to Gaia, but she's also coming up to that new environment. And so it's also keeping her from having to be the grounding field, to be that elemental matter that holds space for us. She doesn't need to hold it for us anymore. She's holding with us. And that's a big difference as well, that I hadn't verbalized it in that way before, but I like how that sounds of, she's been holding us. We've been parasitic on her. We're moving into symbiotic with her. And so that means she doesn't have to hold us anymore. She doesn't have to absorb our stuff. She doesn't have to be that embrace for us, because we start to hold hands. We start to come into an equal tenureship of this ongoing relationship where that's symbiotic. It's, I'm feeding you with crystal energy and light and love, and you're feeding me with that, and we're stabilizing in that field. So I love that Pina sort of expressed this, like, isn't it really the same thing, but we're calling it something different in a way, and yet it does have these new qualities to it. There's a whole new caliber and level of energy with it, which is why stabilizing is such a more accurate word. Because anytime you come into a new field of experience, you need to stabilize within it. When you're in a new reality, you've got to acclimate to it. And so that's what we're doing. We're moving into that. And Crystal Dragon, love that Crystal Dragon wanted to step in for this explanation, because this is the one, this is the whole lineage that holds that DNA activation and shows us that platform of merge that we've come into, that state of unity that we're moving in. Crystal Dragon is that unified state. It's no longer black and white. It's no longer the split. It's no longer polarity, duality. There's the split. We've come into the completion, or we're moving into that. That's the field. That's the field we're stabilizing in, is that point of union energy. And it can be so disorienting when we've been used to even flipping back and forth between polarities of I'm in my feminine, I'm in my masculine, I'm in my yes, I'm in my no, I'm in my light, I'm in my dark. We've been used to oscillating away from that center. And so as we come in, it's also about stabilizing into that central pillar. That's the activation of your crystalline DNA. Boom, that's this guy. That is you moving into your next phases. And there are so many signs of that happening in the energies of the world right now. This is going to be a dynamic year. If you've watched any of the things, and I've only listened to one, but I know that there's incredible stuff out there. Pam Gregory is amazing with her insights. I watched a podcast she did with another woman recently that someone shared with me. They said, this really just felt right on. And it was the lineup of some specific things in this year. And they too are feeling like this is a dynamic year. This is a turning point of our reality and so many dynamic pieces coming together. So that's what we're stabilizing into. It is a higher field. So if that brings up more questions, let's keep this dialogue going. This is what the third, I think, live we've kept going on it, because it begs another piece. Like, well, what about this? And I love that, because when we can go deeper into a specific topic, it takes us that much further with it, right? So I'm feeling that also part of that, and what we need to talk about, is even why I backed off on sessions for now, of being in that flow. So much of our path is about coming into alignment with the heart. What is your heart desire? Even knowing what those are, how to listen to it, how to act in alignment with that, regardless of everything else you're used to being distracted by. And saying yes when the heart gives you that impetus, saying yes. And my heart was like, you need to shift this to this and this to this. And boom, it opened up a whole bunch of space. So you might see me less and less often until that is out. But when I'm inspired to share, I will come on and we'll keep this dialogue going, or initiate new ones. I might start sharing bits and snippets from the new material. It's exciting, because the impetus for me when it came in last September, and this is a way of even operating within that flow. And I shared that story when I created the Oracle deck, of the timing and how I was all confused. I was trying to manage and go, I want it now, I want it this year. And it's like, nope, the dragons were not going to give up the information. They were not ready. And the timing wasn't ready. It was the alignment with the overall universal timing. And it's the same with the book. I really feel, looking back on, I have had this stack, 5 years of notes going in a folder that are part of my discussions, part of my programs, ongoing synthesis of information that's moving us forward in this ascension pathway. And so I knew the book is percolating, it's in the background, it's there, but I don't have to act on it until it's ready to be birthed. A lot of times we have things in our field that, like, I really want this, I want to see this happen, and yet things aren't aligning when I try to force it. Maybe you want to have an addition on your house, or you can't get the building permits, or you're trying to do this over here and you can't get the right people aligned for the artwork you need, or the editing you need, or whatever it is. Maybe you're trying to get into a different school and they're not responding to your emails, and it's like push, 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 nothing. Pay attention to holding the vision, holding that vision, and feeling like everything in my body knew there's another book coming. There's another book coming. But it wasn't ready to be birthed. And when I finally got that impetus, it was in September. And I've been feeling it for 2.5 years. September, it finally was like, all right, let's start synthesizing these notes. Let's start putting this all together, weaving it in to what fits. And what's beautiful for me has been the process to watch and see how, over the 5 years of notes, similar thematics, and I knew this was happening, but it really was evidenced when I went back through the notes. And even in the process of flow, nothing being linear now. I teach that way, and I have for at least 4 years, where the dragons have been like, Stop being linear. We're not going in this order. We're going to show up that morning so that you don't know or plan on anything specific in class today. We're going to show up when it's right because of the order that these beings need things in. And so I find myself hopping around in the order of even like new notes, older notes, and seeing thematics come in of like, oh, we were talking about this 4 years ago in this way. Look how this has been added to, and we can expand it into a much bigger discussion like we are today with this stabilizing aspect. And the beauty of that, because it's about weaving, it's about pinballing, letting things be in a non-linear order to pull you out of what has been your linear reality. 3D is linear. 5D is not linear. It is spherical. It is expanded both inward and outward. It follows the order of the heart, which is always random. It really is about what's coming in that creative flow. So these are the pieces we're moving into. This is that higher platform. This is definitely part, as Pina asked, of moving into the new reality. And our connection with Gaia is shifting. We are stabilizing into it in a beautiful new way. And allow that. Where can I be in flow in my life? What am I not listening to with my heart? When I get that nudge, am I not acting on it? That's the hardest part. A lot of us are very intuitive now. We're getting the nudge. And there are so many more dimensional spaces opening up. People are popping open unexpectedly, having really strange aspects. I think I might have shared my oldest recently, and he's never really had discussions with me about the dragons or dimensional realities or anything that's sort of this metaphysical aspect. He's like to stay very much in, like teenagers do. What's a teenager love to talk about? But one day he said, he came out, he said, I got no sleep at all. It was so weird. Every time I closed my eyes, I was in a different dimensional space. It was disconcerting. I didn't know what to do with it, so I just I wasn't able to sleep. Every time it was not only just like one other space, it was different every time I closed my eyes. And that experience coming in, particularly for our young people, is what they're ready for. These rapid awakenings, because it's here, they came in to be part of it. Those of us even that are older that are maybe like haven't opened fully yet or have been like knowing it's part of our journey, like spiritually open, loving heart. But then all of a sudden, like we're going to need pop opens to these higher realities that will be disorienting and disconcerting for some folks. Part of the reason we're here as light workers, as those to embrace them. And just like I don't need to hold you. I need to hold space for you. And I need to be here with you to help you understand it. And I transfer that information, whether I'm transferring it telepathically, holding that energetic of what is available, what's here in the field of potential, and letting them receive it when they're ready. And they will receive it usually probably in their sleep time and they'll have this wide open dream and it'll be very much like a lucid dream. And their world will shift. Their perception of the world will shift. And that's what it's about. Changing that perception point of where they're looking at the world from. They're looking at it from over here. Now they need to look at it from over here. So even in this discussion, to see how it's been a little bit a round robin of, and yet it all ties together in your heart, is allowing that weave of everything that's just come in to just sit within it and go, yeah, I hear that. Got it. So thank you for being here with me. I see Essence of Alice. Seems like a new Dragon family member. Nice, welcome. If you have questions, I am still receiving emails. That's a great way to get them to me, araya@dragonwithin.com, or post on the videos, either on YouTube or here on Facebook. And we'll look forward to the next time we chat. I'm going to say goodbye for now. I can't recommend the discovery calls because I'm not doing them for a while, but watch for the ascensionprotocol.com to go live. I will come on and be discussing snippets of the new material here and there, and looking forward to your questions. Have a beautiful weekend. I know we're going into a 3-day weekend here for the U.S. With Martin Luther King Day, and what a beautiful energy to be in that flow of let's come together in the middle. Let's be in a state of union. His energy was all about that. It was all about that. Let's meet here. We're meeting Gaia here. We're meeting each other here. Let's change the platform. Alrighty. Have a beautiful one, everybody. We'll see you next time. Bye for now.